All right, last video. We are down to the last few questions here. Gametes produced by an organism contain a combination of genes from that organism. In every gamete, this combination is. So they're telling you gametes, which are either sperm or egg cells, are they the same or are they different? That's the first thing that we need to discuss. Same, different, different. So sperm and egg cells are gametes. You look different than your siblings, meaning that even though you have the same parents, you had different sperms and different eggs meaning like the type of DNA that was in there. So this is due because of something called crossing over, which is where similar DNAs will kind of swap, and then you'll have like a brand new strand of DNA. So that is why you look different than your siblings. Even though the sperm and the egg came from the same parents, they do look different because they are different. So you can immediately cross out A and B because they're not the same. So, different due to DNA replication prior to mitosis. Different due to independent assortment during meiosis. So you have to tell me, are gametes produced with mitosis or meiosis? The answer is meiosis, D, because mitosis produces body cells, not gametes. It produces body or somatic cells. We're skipping number 42, moving on to 43. A segment of DNA strand is shown here. Which of these is a correct complementary DNA strand for the segment shown? So for DNA, A will always go with T, T will always go with A, curvy letter C goes with my curvy letter G. So A goes with T, G goes with C, G goes with C, T goes with A, C goes with G, A goes with T, G goes with C, C, A. That is what I'm looking for in these answer choices. So let's see. We start with T. Oop, this one started with A. A and B are incorrect. T, C, C, T, C, C. This one has two G's, so it's not correct. My answer is D. That was pretty easy. Next up, 44. The ocean sunfish, mola mola, is a large flat fish that spends most of its time in deep water feeding mainly on jellyfish. Sunfish often have many species of copepods, small crustaceans that bury their heads into the soft tissue of the sunfish. Sunfish will swim to the surface of the water and lie sideways, allowing seabirds to eat the copepods from their skin. Which list describes the type of relationship that sunfish has with other marine organisms? So this guy has annoying little things here that bother him, and birds will come and eat them. So we have to describe the relationship between all of these animals. So the relationship that this fish has with seabirds is mutualism. Mutualism means both benefit. Mutualism, both benefit. Parasitism is one benefits, one is negatively affected. Commensalism is one benefits, the other doesn't care. So, with the bird, it is mutualism, both benefit. This would be correct. The bird benefits because it eats food, and the fish benefits because it gets rid of the annoying little things. So with seabirds, the answer is mutualism. So I can get rid of G because it says parasitism. I can get rid of H because it says predation. I can get rid of J because it says commensalism. So my answer is F, and I got that only based on this one. Let's make sure of the rest. Jellyfish, it feeds on jellyfish. With jellyfish, it is a predation. Predation means that this is a predator eating other stuff. Copepods, parasitism. The copepods are benefiting from the fish, but the fish does not like it, so it is being harmed. So all of these are correct. So the answer is F. Moving on to 45. Which statement accurately describes the energy needs for photosynthesis and cellular respiration? So solar energy is needed for cellular respiration? Absolutely not. Solar energy is needed for photosynthesis. Chemical energy in the form of glucose is needed for both cellular respiration and photosynthesis. Not for photosynthesis. The sun is needed for photosynthesis. Chemical energy in the form of glucose is needed for photosynthesis. Nope, we already said solar energy is needed for photosynthesis. Solar energy is needed for photosynthesis. Yes. and chemical energy in the form of glucose is needed for cellular respiration. Yes. So cellular respiration, again, happens in the mitochondria. It makes ATP, which is energy, and it does so by converting it from glucose. All right, number 46, which table shows the 2 steps of DNA replication? DNA replication is going from DNA to DNA. All right, so A or F. DNA polymerase matches uracil to thymine and cytosine to guanine. It says uracil. DNA does not have U. DNA only has A that bonds with T and curvy letter C that bonds with curvy letter G. So I'm going to go and see if anything else has uracil here. Oh, here we go. We can get rid of J. We can get rid of F. DNA polymerase matches cytosine to thymine. Ooh, cytosine does not match with thymine. Cytosine matches with guanine, so I can get rid of G. Let's check H. DNA polymerase matches adenine to thymine, correct. Cytosine to guanine, correct. 2 identical DNA double helixes are produced. Yep, that's the whole point of DNA replication. My answer is H. Alrighty, almost done. Almost done, guys. 3 more questions. This cladogram shows the evolutionary relationships among some mammals based on homologous structures. Which statement is supported by this cladogram? A. Hippopotamuses are more closely related to cows. So hippopotamuses are most closely related to cows than to javelinas. So hippopotamuses share a little taxa section, so very close to cows here. They have this ancestor in common. Hippopotamuses and javelina have this ancestor in common. So this is a further away ancestor, meaning they are less related. So this is true. Toothed whales, this one, are more closely related to mouse deer here than they are to hippopotamuses. That's funny. Here. So they're saying that toothed whales are more related to the deer than the hippopotamus. Toothed whales share a common ancestor with hippopotamuses right here. And with mouse deer, it shares it right here. So the hippopotamus is more closely related to the toothed whale because they share a closer ancestor. So this one is false. Javelinas and pigs here are more closely related than baleen whales and toothed whales. These are actually equally as related because when they are connected by just one little strand like this, they are called sister taxa. They are equally related to each other. So javelinas and pigs are equally related as baleen whales are to toothed whales. So this one is false. They're equally related. Cows and mouse deer are more closely related. So cows and mouse deers, let me see, make a star. Cows and mouse deer are more equally related than javelinas and pigs. This is the same situation. They both share the same sister taxa, so they are equally related. So that's false. So my answer is A. 48. Some species of millipedes will roll into a ball when threatened, while other species of millipedes can secrete noxious chemicals from their bodies. These adaptations allow the millipedes to survive in different temperatures. Their ability to protect themselves from when they're scared has nothing to do with temperature. Avoid different types of predators. Maybe, if they're scared, might be scared of a predator. Conserve different amounts of energy. If they're protecting themselves from something that's scaring them, they're not worried about conserving energy. Blend into different types of environments. Again, if they are secreting chemicals and rolling up into balls, they're not trying to blend in, they're trying to just protect themselves. So the best answer is G, avoiding the predators. Last question, finally. The diagram shows how specialized body cells can develop. We have different types of stem cells, and all of these develop into some kind of specialized cell. Which of the following best explains why cells that contain the same genetic material do not develop into the same types of cells? So, fun fact, all cells in your body contain the same exact DNA. Alright, so we have to figure out why they can be different types of cells. Because internal or external stimuli can trigger the activation of specific genes in the DNA of cells. That sounds a lot like gene expression, so I'm going to say maybe. Because random mutations can occur in the DNA of cells during early embryonic development. Mutations do not change or are not the reason why cells become different kinds of specialized cells. If that were the case, it would be really sad because you would have a whole bunch of mutations, and because of mutations, you are who you are. Makes no sense. Because messenger RNA is converted to transfer RNA when cell differentiation begins. I don't even know what this is saying. This is just confusing. Like, RNA has nothing to do with specialized cells, so I'm going to say that that's not it. Because chemical signals that are released during the cell cycle can result in the linking of similar genes. First of all, there's no chemical signals that are released to link similar genes. I don't understand how similar genes develop into different specialized cells, so not D. The best answer is A. Either internal or external stimuli can trigger the activation or the deactivation of specific genes so that these cells become specialized. So all the cells in your body have the same DNA. Your stomach cells have the stomach cell genes turned on, and the cells in your leg have the stomach cells gene turned off.